we can see here, we got the Forktail decoction, the Ancient Lash decoction, the Weaver decoction, the Earth Elemental decoction, and the Archgriffin decoction. So guys, welcome back to another video. This time with one of my favorite builds again, the Metamorphosis build. No, I actually want to go to the character build with the Metamorphosis, one of my favorite ones. I mean, sure, it's Euphoria normally for combat, but this time Metamorphosis is one of the more interesting ones, because I think everyone is kind of used to Euphoria. We're here, beautiful view again on the, actually I think the last castle I haven't destroyed at all in The Witcher was my main character, so the only way I could go is here, because if I don't kill the leader here, the people will respawn and I still have the chance to always come back here and use it for my gameplay videos. So what I want to show in this build is the Metamorphosis build I'm playing right now. It is focused on combat and potions. So we're having here the Tucson Knight Steel Sword, which is the strongest you can get in the game for a steel sword, with the increased range of wheel by 1.1 yards and rend by 1.9 yards. Not sure why yards, and yeah, but let's keep it like that. Then for the Silver Sword we have the Erendite, which is the strongest. Not with the base damage, I think the Guess Heft or another one has a stronger base damage, but the longer you fight with this weapon, the stronger it gets. So it will double the damage by itself up to 200%. So the more enemies you kill, the stronger this sword gets, and there's no way any other should have a similar damage than the Erendite. Then my favorite armor, and also the strongest armor in the game, is the Urzid armor, with included levity to make this armor light. Then we have the full armor equipped, and all will be treated as light armor with all Quen sign intensity, just to give more protection on that. And we have an armor protection of 1600. As you can see here, that's a silver sword damage, and currently just a sign intensity of 40%, but that will get higher. Then as the main decoctions, which I'm generally using, is the Echidnite decoction, which I'm always using for any combat skill builds. Same with the Echimara decoction, the Troll decoction. So the higher my toxicity is, I'm not losing any health points at all, and this one can change. I mostly use the water hack decoction, because damage deals is increased when vitality is its maximum, so I just have a strong damage, and because both of them are healing my vitality or regenerate my vitality, let's say that, I always I'm at the maximum, especially when I'm using the wheeling. So what I'm using for my build is generally muscle memory, precise blows, and wheel. Then for strong attacks, rend and Sunder armor. That's, in my opinion, the best both combat things you can use if you want to focus on fast attack and strong attack, because this one is not necessary, and also the two bigger one are not that necessary. So in my opinion, these 5 things together are the best you can do. If you're focusing on fast attack, you can for sure take the bleeding. If you only want to focus on the strong attack, then for sure you can only use that, and use the other points, for example, for the deadly precision to make an instant damage, which is not necessary. Which I always like to use the fleet-footed while I'm dodging. I don't want to receive any damage, which gives me just a better protection than using resolve. So when I'm getting into a fight, although this time is adrenaline points lose upon taking damage is lowered by 100%. So when I'm getting hit, my adrenaline points will not getting away. And razor focus is when I'm getting an adrenaline point when I'm entering combat. I don't have anything for use for sign intensity, because this one is mainly for combat. It is kind of a hybrid build because of the higher sign intensity, which gets starting later on, but mostly because of Euphoria in that situation. Then we're using, a bit more alchemy this time because of higher tolerance, the acquired tolerance, and the synergy. That's, in my opinion, the three main alchemies you need for any type of alchemy build, just because the higher toxicity. Then you kind of have either you're using 4 of them for that position, so I mostly go for protected coating. Hunter instinct doesn't work, or I'm using killing spree. But for this build, because we're focusing on decoctions, I'll use the late recovery, so potion effect don't wear off until potion toxicity falls to 55% off maximum level, and I'm using side effects, so inhibiting potion gives a 100% chance of activating the effects of another randomly selected potion without additional toxicity cost, which is my situation. If you're doing a decoction build or Metamorphosis, it's one of the strongest. Then I'm using the cat school techniques, sure, because the light armor of the bear armor, and I'm using a focus, so adrenaline points increase both weapon damage and sign intensity, and I'm using increased maximum toxicity, so the metabolic control, to just have a higher toxicity level, which I can achieve, so I also have a higher damage. And as I said, this is a Metamorphosis build, so we're focusing on Metamorphosis, so short duration, applying critical effects to opponents activate a random caution for 120 seconds with no toxicity cost, which is pretty effective. My limitation is 5. So what we'll do here is starting off a build. When we, for example, end the combat, we go into a troll decoction, and I'm getting a random selected potion. That's the sign potion, the Petrus filter. Then going for Ignite decoction. Then I'm going for Ikimara decoction, and I'm going for Water Hack decoction. And then getting some damage. So only when I'm, for example, creating a critical hit damage, actually. Wait, let's create it. Oh, come on. Okay, I don't like that much. What?
You'll never learn.
No critical hits so far? Okay. Well.
I heard the pretty goats take you.
Actually, I should... Okay, so now it works. Because now I got... Sometimes it takes some time, because if you don't do any critical hit damage, it will not activate. Mostly you get critical hit damage while wheeling. So get that here again. Getting another decoction, another one, and
Come on.
unwheel. I think we've finished. Well, recovered. Most of the time the dogs are the most annoying ones. So, what you can see here. Dogs are so annoying actually. But we can see here we got the Forktail decoction, the Ancient Lash decoction, the Weaver decoction, the Earth Elemental decoction, and the Archgriffin decoction on top of that. So that's 500 only, yes, exactly. All the enemies are actually dead. So we just go down and just continuing on that. Entering combat without continuing. What actually makes you pretty strong is not the higher silver sword or something or sign intensity. it is actually the decoction which makes you super overpowered. That looks kind of cool.
Pathetic.
Most of the time, using this decoction is mainly good for big enemies, for example, or big groups of enemies. Down here. Getting another decoction again here because the ones are going off, and we're already at the.
We'll fix you soon, don't you fret.
Not too late to surrender.
And we are starting at the leader, the last enemy for today's. And it is not the strongest build, but it's, in my opinion, a fun build. So we now got a Katakan decoction, which is good for combat, and Griffin decoction. We'll go here. Got a 1 damage. And yeah, there was it. The Metamorphosis build. In my opinion, a super fun build. And yeah, I'm just enjoying this beautiful view, and maybe one small Easter egg, which might people don't know. If we're looking at
Sky cells. Nice idea for a prison without bars. Shame he didn't know how to fly.
this is kind of inspired by Game of Thrones, because this is the one which doesn't have any thing, and the troll should also be. No, what is the name again? Yeah, from Game of Thrones, inspired of that. That's a small little Easter egg in Skellige, for people who didn't know that. And yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you liked the Metamorphosis build, and hopefully see you in the next one.